Hi, my name is Raina Lublo, and I'm here to present to you my EDU 691 Practicum presentation. It was a really great semester. I felt like I learned a lot, and I had a lot of fun with all the research that I did, so I'm excited to share with you my experience. This presentation will be split up into 3 parts. The first will be just an overview of my goals and myself and my title and just the theme of my project, and then we'll move on to the research itself, what happened in that experience, and then I'll finish by talking about what is next and how it can relate, and kind of the challenges and goals reached along the way. So like I said, my name is Raina Luplo. I graduated with a secondary education degree from Spring Arbor University in 2017. I currently am the director of an up-and-coming nonprofit called That Girl on Fire in the mid-Michigan area. And then I'm also a middle school Spanish teacher at Swan Valley Middle School in Saginaw, Michigan. I coach a few things on the side, and I'm really invested in my students' lives, and I think that, the topic I chose really just help relate to all these things I do. So the title of the project is Character Education in Adolescence, the Best Practices, and I chose this because I can see currently the need for character ed, and just kind of with the shift in society and how strong of a presence media and social media is in children's lives, that it's really important to keep an eye on and kind of just keep the core of character ed in our schools and in our classrooms. Along with that, I think adolescent development is something that's always really interested me, and so I thought, focusing on character ed in middle schools would be really fun and good for me. In that sense, I think there's an extensive variety of programs, so I just really wanted to compare what programs did that the other programs did, or maybe what was different, and see where the best practices would lie. And we also have this program in our school called Viking Valor, and that's our character education program. And I came into the school, it's my first year working there, and I thought, hey, I really would like to see how that works and how that helps our students with their character ed. And so doing this and being able to study that a little bit and just see how that helps our students made me want to continue to study the character ed. Again, like I said, just the hats that I wear really kind of influenced me and inspired me to choose this topic. I think the adolescent age, and if you've had me in class before, you've heard me say this before, that it's the most impressionable age there is, and it's really important to me. And so I thought that would be the perfect option in this process. So the overall reigning question is, how can teachers and schools do better at character education in and outside the classrooms and prepare our students for success morally? A lot of this word that just kept coming up in my research was the moral compass. We're leading students to the moral compass. We're teaching them how to have a moral compass, and we're showing them what the moral compass is. And I think just teaching them how to be, good moral human beings is really important. And that's kind of what I wanted to get to the bottom of in my research, is how do people do that and what is the best way to do so. So at the beginning of the semester, I came up with some outcomes that I had for this experience, and it included the learner recalling 5 key strategies for character ed in adolescence, 3 programs that are used for character ed, compiling research to create a project for educators in order to inform them of the best practices, so that's the product, research and collect a large list of academic journals and research regarding character ed, working with my site supervisor, even to help at Swan Valley, the Viking Valor curriculum, and then create an oral presentation, which is this, explaining how this impacted my perspective and understanding. I really would like to use this in my current practices as a teacher, even if it means sitting down one day and not even teaching Spanish, but just talking about a character trait and how that relates to life and how we can use it I would like to teach character ed in our school someday. I know we have like certain classes, like skills classes, I would just really enjoy teaching that. I can use what I've found, in my coaching experiences and my nonprofit as well. It really helps in understanding students, like even after just a small 100 hours of research, I found that I look at students a little differently and wondering like, oh, maybe they are the way they are because of this, and maybe their character is the way it is because of this or that. Um, it helps with good collaboration with coworkers, having a conversation with them, more than, just about a student, but maybe it goes a little bit deeper into why kids might be the way they are, they do what they do. And then I think it'll help in future research and development. Whatever I choose for my capstone course, I think this experience itself really has allowed me to prepare and be ready for that next step. So now I'm going to go into part 2, which is just a breakdown of the 100 hours. I'll tell you about my key experiences, my takeaways, the relationships I made in the project that we were hypothetically told to create. So about 1/3 or 30% of my coursework came from meetings and just doing what we were supposed to do in this course. 50% of it all came from research, and I don't think I've ever had so much fun researching. So I spent hours and hours on just reading articles and sifting through and seeing what could relate best to this experience. And I had so much fun just learning from the best and learning about different studies that were done. So that's where half of my whole experience came from. And then, like, the last 20% came from meeting and networking and talking to people about character education and discussing things they do and the programs that they run for students. So, my key experiences, I had so many. I felt like every experience was super great, but I'm just going to point and elaborate on a few. So, collaboration with my site supervisor, Sandy, with the Viking Valor curriculum. I think that was a really good experience for me because I got to have some input into our character ed program as a first-year teacher. And whether they take what I say or not, I think it was really good to get that conversation open and be like, hey, this is what I found in my character education research, and I think maybe we should go about doing this way. So like I said, that was really cool to be able to experience that so quickly. Networking with The Rock and other school counselors. So I got to meet with The Rock, which is a youth development program in the mid-Michigan area, and I really enjoyed just talking to them, getting to know them, seeing how they do their character building for their students, which is completely different kind of than the traditional way that we've been taught. So it was really great to sit down with their executive director and have a conversation. I feel like I got some expert insight on this through all the podcasts, through the interviews and everything, and so on and so forth. I've really enjoyed how I've already observed this in my students from my perspective change, and then I think it's just been fun to search for the best practices. So the key takeaways, and this is kind of comes from my objectives as far as 3 programs and 5 strategies. The key takeaways were that I found the Rock, Viking Valor, and like an advisory hour to be great character ed building programs, and then I also found that parent involvement, relationships, mentoring programs, skills / experiences, and school culture are 5 strategies that are very important for character building, and I think that those are game-changing strategies when it comes to teaching kids character and helping them stay in that good character all through their schooling careers. A few more things I learned that I wanted to touch on was like the history of character ed. It started with the religious values in church, and no wonder we've seen such a shift because less and less children are going to church and less families are focusing on church values. I had some good conversations about why there is such a need for character education today, and just coming from teacher friends and so on and so forth. It was really cool to hear them what they had to say, which